some of what we ultimately ended up seeing, where we saw Devon and Gemma and Ricken and Mark, came from conversations that you and Dan Erickson had before going into season two, where you were talking about the idea of what these friendships would look like, and even the
Mm,
idea of, I think Mark didn't used to be so short with Ricken when he was happier and not so stressed out and
right.
Seven. And so how did that conversation kind of help to shape some of what we ultimately got to see in that episode?
I think the beauty of Dan's world building is that it is vast, and that means there are often 76 different storylines for any given character that he's sort of playing Tetris with. And as such, we going into season two all had, I think, a couple of different ideas for where each of these characters might go. And he and I just were having a lunch in LA one day, and this was before I'd seen any scripts for the second season. And I said, "What do you think is her personal stake here beyond her love for her brother? Like, were they friends?" And he said, "Yeah, I think they were friends." And I said, "Well, what if they were really close?" I mean, like, I like the idea that this foursome could have had a symbiotic dynamic where the sums of the whole of their parts rather worked for them, and then when one of them died, they fell apart. A thread was pulled, and so we kind of worked backwards. And he was like, "Yeah, let's look at that. I think it would be really heartbreaking to see that maybe there was a past where Mark did understand Rickon, where Rickon was a bit more at ease and not as insecure and verbose, and what that looked like." And so after an entire season and a half of seeing them at odds with one another and seeing that friction, seeing them, in this like beautifully sunbathed warm afternoon together where they felt like a family, was heartbreaking.